Welcome to my views and news. Sunday's first video. Since day before yesterday, it is being claimed that Tigray forces are about to collapse. That on all fronts, Tigray forces are suffering losses, and that is why they are calling for immediate cessation of hostilities. Not only pro-government news sources and activists, but also some pro-Tigray analysts spoke, claiming that Tigray forces were under pressure, their defense lines under pressure. So what is situation on the ground? Can we say that TDF is about to crumble, it is about to collapse, and Ethiopian federal forces, Amhara regional forces, and Eritrean forces are about to take control of major towns and cities of Tigray? Firstly, situation varies from front to front. So we'll have to analyze fronts, all fronts, then we can reach a conclusion, a safe conclusion about TDF's position at this point of time. Wallo front, TDF retreated. Tigray fighters had to retreat, obviously not voluntarily. They were forced to retreat because they were coming under pressure from western side of Kobo Robit. Eritreans they were launching offensives towards Tigray, towards Agula from afar. So they had to retreat. And then from the north as well, Shire was under pressure. They lost their gains in Wallo, and now they are trying to defend southern Tigray. Front line, which was close to Gobiye, has been pushed back towards Alamata, and fighting is ongoing between Vaja and Alamata. So on this front, obviously, Tigray forces are trying to defend southern Tigray from Waghemra and from Wallo. The two sides, Ethiopian federal forces and Amhara regional forces, are trying to enter the southern Tigray. Secondly, afar, we're talking about Birahle, Mount Esta. Here TDF is holding its positions. It could not be pushed back towards A2 highway. It managed to repel EDF and afar offensives towards A2 highway, towards Makle. No considerable gains by EDF afar forces from Birhale or from Abala towards Tigray. So eastern front for Tigray is not where TDF is under pressure. Thirdly, Adarkai, where Tigray forces were in control of the town, they had to retreat. Why did they retreat from Adarkai? They were planning an attack on Volkayth. From the areas to the west of Adarkai, from Mesambre, they were making preparations to launch major attack on Volkayth. But they retreated. Now they're out of Adarkai. Front line is somewhere close to Meleham, maybe Mesabre. Pictures are being shared from Mesabre. We are in the process of confirmation, verification. So here again, they were pushed back from Adarkai towards Tigray. Why? Retreat of Tigray forces from Adarkai is linked to pressure upon Shire. If Shire falls, if Shire comes under full ENDF and EDF control, it means that Tigray forces in Mesabre, in Adarkai, will have no sustainable supply route. Their supplies will be cut off. And since Shire is under immense pressure, some say fighting inside the city. So that is why TDF had to retreat from Darkai. And we could see this retreat from Mesabre as well, Mesamre too. Especially if Shire comes under full control of ENDF and EDF. Before that, we could see Tigray forces retreat from Mesabre too. Mesamre, and Darkai fronts are linked to Shire. On Shire front, Tigray forces are under extreme pressure. So you see that western front as well is the front where TDF is under immense pressure. It is withdrawing back into Tigray. Shire, I think no need to explain. Everyone knows that Shiraro, Edi Hagre, Edi Wala, Edi Nabrid, ENDF and EDF, they have made several territorial gains. From two directions, they have managed to reach close to Shire. I have no visual confirmation that EDF, ENDF are inside Shire. But Shire is being bombarded, shells, rocket firing, drone strikes, air strikes conducted a few days ago. Now under continuous shelling and rocket firing. Civilians dying, aid workers dying. There is danger of urban warfare in Shire if TDF decides to defend Shire city. So if Shire falls, as I said earlier, Darkai already lost, Mesabre will also be lost. On Shire front, under immense pressure, Tigray forces. What about Rama, Zilambasa, Sirona fronts? Here we could not see EDF, ENDF make significant gains. Yes, they are shelling Adegrat. There has been fighting, intense fighting in Rama as well. But we have no solid information that EDF and ENDF, they have managed to penetrate deep into Tigray towards Adegrat or towards Aksum. I have no such information. That is why I think that here TDF is holding its positions. It is defending. Main push is in Ediabo towards Shire, where TDF is under pressure. So we can sum up very safely that Shire front is the main front which is leading to pressure upon Tigray forces. If this defensive front collapses, Tigray forces will have to retreat from several other areas too. And ENDF, EDF supporters are very hopeful. Some have been saying for days that Shire has come under EDF, ENDF control. Sajid is hiding. This new Sajid is pro-TPLF. As I have been saying that I won't take a minute to break this news once I have confirmation. Since Shire is very strategic, as I elaborated, that is why TDF is trying whatever it can to defend Shire. Fall of Shire can have dominoes effect like we saw in November 2020. So overall, we can sum up, Tigray forces are under pressure. On Shire front, Eritreans are once again Eritrean forces, not Eritreans by the way. When I say Eritreans, I mean Eritrean government, Eritrean forces, not common Eritreans. Eritrean forces are proving to be a pain in the side for Tigray forces. Ediabo main front. Now, question is, can TDF somehow repel all these offensives? TDF needs to repel offensive on Shire. If somehow it happens to push back EDF and ENDF on Shire, you will see that TDF will be in a position to defend its territories. So we'll have to see the outcome of EDF, ENDF's advance towards Shire city. Coming hours very crucial, coming 2 to 3 days. Tigray is obviously calling for cessation of hostilities. Tigray's international sympathizers as well are urging immediate cessation of hostilities. It's partly due to immense pressure upon Tigray forces and partly due to large number of civilian casualties as well, which could be the result of urban combat. If TDF decides to fight in Shire, what will happen? There are tens of thousands of IDPs in Shire, not just residents. IDPs from western Tigray, from Shiraro, other parts of Tigray border area. There are tens of thousands of these IDPs and residents in Shire. So imagine if fighting erupts inside the city and TDF decides that it will not retreat, what will happen? Thousands will die in Shire city. So that is why let's hope that either this issue is resolved peacefully or this Shire offensive comes to a close without civilian casualties. Otherwise, there are serious apprehensions that the Shire offensive could lead to large number of civilian casualties, not just 2, 3, 4 or 5, which are dying on daily basis. Almost on daily basis in shelling, in rocket firing, people are dying in Shire. I am talking about urban combat, urban warfare in Shire, which could happen if TDF decides to remain in Shire, no matter what happens. So, in coming days, maybe 2 to 3 days, things will be clear. So far, yes, Tigray forces have come under pressure, but don't conclude that TDF is out of this war. TDF is all, it has lost everything. Even if TDF lost Shire, it will keep on fighting. It has already moved its assets towards central Tigray, which is defendable in terms of drone strikes, air strikes, and TDF has experience of fighting there. So TDF, TPL leadership will be shifted to central Tigray. War will go on. It will change the form and it will turn into guerrilla warfare. Though it's still, as I always say, there is many a slip between the cup and the lip. It's not that in coming hours, Mekelle is going to come under EDF, ENDF control. People are hoping, by the way. They are concluding, pro-government supporters, some Eritrean activists, they are of this view that war is about to be over, that TPLF is about to be finished, that a futile attempt is being made to save TPLF. No, this war isn't going to be over. You'll see in coming days and weeks, no one will surrender. They might lose big cities, towns, but they'll keep on fighting. I think people are blind to reality sometimes. They have seen what happened in November 2020. These TPLF, TDF leaders, their soldiers, they kept on fighting. They lost Esmilosh, they lost Mesfin Hagosh. Their houses raided, their family members killed, thousands died. They did not surrender. They think surrender means death. So that is why no surrender. If there is no international intervention, Tigray fighters will keep on fighting. Government's attempts to create splits in Tigray will not succeed. We have seen that in the past as well. Leaflets were dropped, interim setups were installed in Mekelle. What happened? Nothing. People in Tigray will not go against TPLF. Some could be there to support pro-government, pro-Ethiopian government setup in Mekelle. Otherwise, the majority of people will support TPLF. Why? It's because Tigrayans were targeted, not only in Tigray, but outside Tigray as well. TPLF has made it a war between Tigray people and rest of people and Tigray people and Ethiopian federal government. They have managed to solidify this narrative. And most Tigrayans believe that this is war for their survival.